What up? What up? It's Garage Gym Homie. And today I'm talking about why I quit stealing and is it worth it? Sharing a story from my past with you, man. This one is deep right here. Before we get into this, please click the subscribe button. I got content coming out every day for you now. From health food reviews, supplement reviews, gizmos, gadgets, goodies, all sorts of good finds for you fine folks out there. So click subscribe and let's get into this, man. I'm bringing you over to the backyard, a place where I could reflect on the blessings in my life, man, and where I came from. It's a place of peace for me. So let me bring you in close here, man. Let me bring you in close so we could talk about this, man. I'm excited about this story because I've been thinking about this. Things come up from my past that I completely forget, and then I remember them. And I'm like, oh my God, man, I can't believe I forgot that. So let's just say this, man. I've been in LA. I like to share stuff from my past with you so you guys know where I came from a little bit, because I like to be really open about it. And, you know, I believe maybe we can be helpful to people. We're never going to be helpful to people by keeping things in. So this is the deal. So I was in LA for like, God, 7.5 years, I think. And I went there to run away from Michigan. I'm a recovered heroin and crystal meth addict. And my time in LA was spent being a sick man with the disease of addiction, had its nasty big fat claws around me, okay? Heroin, crystal meth. So my first years out there, my time out there went in waves as far as my financial situation, but toward the end, it was as dark could get. Living on the streets, just trying to stay afloat with not being dope sick, just literally in survival mode, trying to survive with nothing except my duffel bag, whatever clothes I had, and trying to eat, find shelter, find a cheap $30 motel, trying to afford that, and stay high or not be sick, I guess you could say. I had a girlfriend that rolled with me, man. She was quite a trooper, you know, came with me through all the darkness at the end there. The last couple years out there, just was by my side. And I used to be really crafty when it came to getting food. I mean, we used to play the system in every way possible. I'm going to tell you a few examples before I get into the story here. You know, first of all, I always, through all my shenanigans, tried my best to keep up with my appearance. Now, I must have looked crazy out of my dang mind, high as a kite walking around, but I at least did what I could to look semi-presentable so I could kind of function, not function, but adapt to situation. Now, for example, I said I'm a meth addict, recovered meth addict. I've never had a cavity, ever had a cavity in my teeth to this day as a crystal meth addict. So I always took care of my hygiene, always stayed on top of that kind of stuff. I mean, I used to pick holes in my face staring in the mirror for 10 hours, you know, delusional, stuck. But, you know, besides that, I try to keep up with appearances. So we used to do things like this. We used to stay purposely in areas in LA that were like, let's say we stayed at cheap motels that were over by LAX airport. That way, I could wake up in the morning with her and we could sneak over to one of the nice hotels, because by LAX airport is all the nice hotels, the Marriott, the Hilton, La Quinta Suites. We'd sneak in there. I'd pretend to be on my cell phone. I'd walk up in there and be like, oh, yeah, no, I'm back at the hotel. I'm staying in this room, da-da-da-da-da. And so the staff could hear me, and then I could waltz right in and get free continental breakfast in the morning, right? So I could go in there, pretend I was a guest, have some bagels, some yogurt, some peanut butter. I knew this hotel, the Hampton, had the waffle maker. This hotel had this. You know, the Hilton, I'd go to the 12th floor, whatever. And I'd walk right in. I could do 5 days in a row because then I wouldn't look suspicious because guests stay there for 5 days all the time, whatever. So, you know, I would go Little Caesars. I would say, oh, I'd call Little Caesars. I'd say, oh yeah, you know, I'm Jewish, and you know, I asked for a plain cheese pizza, and I got home, and you guys gave me a pepperoni, and it's not kosher. And so I'd go to Little Caesars, and they'd say, oh, just come in, we'll give you your right pizza. They give me a free hot and ready or 2 free hot and ready, so I'd have pizzas for free, and they never questioned it. Or we would go to like Jack in the Box or McDonald's or Burger King or whatever, and we would walk right in there and say, hey, we just went around through the drive-thru and you guys got our whole order right, except you forgot our 2 chicken sandwiches. And they would just hand us 2 chicken sandwiches because it's LA. There was so much going on there. They never said, can I see your receipt or anything. We just knew we could go from one to another to another to another. And nobody, it was like scam after scam. So we used to do what was called a walkthrough at the grocery store. And at this time, I remember things were rough, man. I mean, there were times where we were so hungry. I remember in front of my motel once, there was a fountain. We had such hunger pains, strung out. We picked pennies out of that fountain until we got like 35 or whatever it was. It was like every last penny in that fountain in front of the $30 a night motel on La Brea. So we could go to the 7-Eleven and split a ramen noodles. I mean, that's how hungry we were. And I remember we were so hungry once we got that ramen noodle, we didn't even wait for the water to cook it. We were like crunching on it with eating. Before that, we were eating sugar packets just to satiate us for a few minutes. It was horrific. And the point being, we used to go to grocery stores and do what we called them a walkthrough. And we would walk through the grocery store and we would fill up our cart. And we would keep filling it up. And as we're filling it up, we're walking through the grocery store and we're eating things. So like I would grab those little grocery store sushis, and I'd be filling up my cart while I'm eating sushi, inconspicuously, you know, very discreetly eating sushi. Or they'd have these jalapeno cheese rolls at Ralph's grocery store. Ralph's was a big chain out west in LA, in California or whatever. And I would eat those cheese rolls, I'd eat whatever, until the cart was filled up, until my stomach was satisfied, my lady's stomach was satisfied, and then we would abandon the cart and walk out. So I remember one night before the grocery store closed, we literally couldn't even drive to the grocery store because the car had no gas. We were on the verge. I think we were getting dope sick. I had some needles in my pocket, paraphernalia. I don't know if I had a tiny bit of dope left. I don't think I had any dope left at all. None. I remember it was really rough. We had nothing left. She had a car still at this time. It was impounded later, but we were at least sleeping in the car in parking lots and stuff. And this little BMW, we would sleep in the car. I remember we went right before closing. We couldn't even drive to the grocery store. We had to, the car was abandoned. The car was parked somewhere, completely out of gas. It might have had we couldn't drive it. I remember that. I don't know if she had a gas can or what. We couldn't drive the car to the grocery store. We had to walk across, and we were doing a walkthrough. Like they closed then, they closed at midnight or 11 or whatever it was. We were so hungry. We walked through the whole store. We were eating, filling up the cart. We abandoned the cart, and the security stopped us before we left. And the security said, "Are you going to pay for all that stuff you just ate?" They knew it. I said, "Well, we're not done shopping." They said, "Okay, you got about 10 minutes left." So I know I'm going to jail that night. I'm getting arrested, and I might have had warrants out for my arrest at the time anyway, or whatever. And who knows? I always had warrants out for my arrest because I didn't go to court dates, or I had probations that I abandoned and absconded, they call it. And so I bought up my time. I went to the cereal aisle, emptied my pocket discreetly, got rid of the needles and the spoon, whatever lighter, spoon, needles, whatever paraphernalia I had in my pocket, because I knew the cops were probably going to come arrest me, and when I couldn't pay for the groceries. I literally didn't have $1 to my name, and neither did my girl. So we're there together, we're tripping. At least I didn't have the needles and stuff on me, whatever. So I'm getting ready. The store closes, so they say to me, I say, you know what? I go to the front of the store. I said, I don't have my wallet on me to pay for it. We forgot the wallet in the car. The security was patient with me, and they said, okay. They said, we're going to hold you here, and your girl can go to the car and get your wallet. And I was thinking, okay, they let me go get the wallet, and we were just bolt, and that would be that. They were smart enough to say, we're going to hold you here. Your girlfriend can go get the wallet, and you can pay for all the groceries you ate. Okay, so she goes and gets the wallet. She's taking a long time because we didn't tell them the car wasn't parked at Ralph's. It was parked dang near, I don't know, across the street or whatever. So they're like, I hope your girl didn't leave you here. Hope she didn't leave you here. I'm like, no, she'll be back. And I knew she was going to be back. She wouldn't have left me because we were thick as thieves. So she comes back with my wallet. And my wallet has 5 credit cards in it, all maxed out, all no money on it, not $1 of cash with me, nothing. So I start I'm buying more time, right? I'm swiping the first credit card. It's some Bank of America that I have linked to my bank account. Decline. I swiped the second credit card. It was some PayPal MasterCard that PayPal gave me, which had no money. I mean, I had screwed my credit up from a while before right after I went to prison, I completely screwed it up. And declined, third credit card, they swipe it, declined. So maybe I had 3 credit cards, then my EBT card, which hadn't been activated in months. And they swiped the EBT card, I'm buying time, approved. What? Approved. I looked at my girlfriend, and we didn't know what happened, man. We didn't know what freaking happened. The EBT card was approved. They said, okay, you can go. We walked out of the grocery store. We looked at each other, out of breath. I called the back of that EBT card, and it had over $1,400 on it. I had been bumming around LA with this girl, with no gas, with no food, with no dope, with $1,400 on me the whole dang time, and I didn't even know it. Had no freaking idea we had $1,400 on us. I had thought, which I was 1,000% sure of, that I was no longer eligible for the benefits that the state of California gave me for EBT, and they had cut me off. And I had been collecting it now for a few months without even knowing it was on there, because I never even checked, because I just thought for sure. And we looked at each other when that 1,400, when I heard over the speakerphone, you could type in the PIN number and your card number, and it gives you your balance. Almost $1,500 on there. We said, this was a sign from God. We will never, ever steal again. I have never stolen since then again. That was the craziest thing It was so amazing. I was jumping for joy. Of course, I was so dang impulsive. What did I do? We went to buy a motel, probably bought a nice meal, probably called the dope man, blew that money quickly because that disease just had a hold of me. But I never stole again, man. We looked at each other that day and said, we are not going to steal again. So that was a God moment. And the point is, man, that even through all that darkness, it's not that I had a relationship with God or God was like a part of my thinking, but there was a part deep down within me that believed back then, that was spiritual, and that was being guided. And I knew it even back then in all that darkness. I knew there was still a light in me. If you didn't see my video a few weeks back about the dog that saved my life back in LA, you got to go see it if you haven't, because you would know, man, I always had a light guiding me, always, through all the darkness. So that was a real God moment right there, and we were blown away. I mean, I was going to go to jail, and I'd been riding around with over almost $1,500 in my pocket and living like I didn't have a freaking dollar. So that's crazy, man. So think about your life. I mean, when has God like been there the whole time when you didn't even know it? When you didn't even know it, and been guiding you? Or if you're not a God person, if you don't want to use the word God, maybe when has your heart been guiding you and not your head? You know, something more than you, when has it been there and you didn't even recognize it, man, until after the fact? So those are just some crazy moments I just wanted to share with you. I mean, if that's not insane, riding around with all that dang money when you're living literally homeless without a dollar to put in the gas tank, and the whole time you've had over $1,400 in your pocket, man, I don't know, man. So that's what I got for you. So is not stealing worth it? Heck yeah, it's worth it, man. And I was never one to steal. Like, I never, even through my sickness, I never went through my parents' wallet and stole cash. I mean, I stole alcohol when I was a kid, and I definitely abused. I was a taker, not a giver. But I don't know, man. That's what I got for you. So, hey, if you liked the review, subscribe to the channel. If you didn't freaking like the review, also subscribe to the channel. Together, let's get this dang muscle. God bless all of you. I'm out.